Hi, I'm Greg Hubbard, and I am working on installing the 4th and 5th selective control valves on a 4052R John Deere tractor, a 2015 model. Now what I've done is I've laid the kit out for you, but I want to make sure that you understand, as you'll look here at this number, the BLV 10043, you must have that selected, that third hydraulic kit installed, and you'll need a bracket off of there to install this particular kit. Now let me show you what kit we have for this. There's the number of the kit. The LVU 26959. Now let me say this about the manual. What you're going to understand in the manual that John Deere gives you with the kit is these numbers are exactly one off when it comes to describing the parts. So 34, for instance, is really number 35 on your list. So make sure you make that note. Now let me just walk you through the parts that you get with this kit. These three bolts, one is longer than the other because the longest one is going to end up holding this support bracket from the SCV to two holes on the back of the tractor, and we'll see that when we do the install. That goes through the selective control valve, through this, and then the other two go on the selective control valve. Here's your 4th and 5th selective control valve. The 5th one is the one that has the electronic control, so make sure you understand that. And that's always 5. This is going to be 4. All right, and then our handles that are going to go in the cab. This one here, the straight one's going to be 5, and the crooked one is going to be number 4. You'll notice that the pump has a 5 on it, the pump switch, the electronic switch to hold your flow, and that'll keep you remembering which one that is. Now let's go over here. All these lines are shaped similarly, and these are the ones that will run from the selective control valve all the way over to the new couplers that we'll be putting on the back. The couplers will sit in this plate, and we'll put those on later with a snap ring on each side. All right, one there and one there. That'll hold our selective control valves. And then we'll have some stickers for the cab and for this to show the direction of flow. So these three are for that. Since we have that other kit on, and it's for that third selective control valve, there's some bolts in there doing nothing. We'll use the nuts off of those to hold these on the selective control valve. And you can see that the selective control valve has 3 holes that will mount in that plate from the other kit. And then our cables will go in this end. So you might want to keep that in mind. Let's go back over here. These, of course, are going to go purple on top, black on the bottom when we get our selective control valves in there. This is going to come out of the tractor, and from here we're going to put on this funny looking nut at 51 foot-pounds on one end, and we're going to check into the one on the bottom when we put in our lines. These are our hydraulic flow lines, and these are the ones that will attach to the tractor, and they will attach to the selective control valve. These will bolt to the selective control valve. You see we have 4 of these connectors. They're going to go right here. We're going to put those in a little bit. This is going to go on the side, and right now I think it's this side, but we'll wait and see when we get it on there. It's either this side or this side, I'm not sure, but we'll get that on there. This will come out of the tractor body, out by the rock shaft, and we'll put that on. Then these will connect to those connectors, one that's existing, and then we're going to have a connector on this selective control valve for that. These 6 small nuts, I think they're 6 millimeter, I'm not sure. These lock nuts will go on there, And these are going to be what's going to hold this in the cab. When we get to that point and we install, our cable on there, that cable is going to have this on it on one end, and then that cable is going to have a pin that will go through this, and then that pin is going to come down and it's going to lock itself right here. So that's on the end of this. There'll be a lock nut here to hold it from moving, and that's going to pin that down. So those come separately. All right, when we go into the cab with the cables, here's some cut grommets that will shield the cable from the cab. We have our handles that'll go on last on top of our selective control valve handles. These are the caps for that. We're going to use 2 of these self-threading nuts on top of this when we put the handle on. You'll notice that the handle is only going to go on one way, so you can't get that messed up. It doesn't go on the wrong way. This is going to go between these valves, these lines that go to the hookups for the selective control for your hydraulics. That'll go in there with this, and they will hose clamp, and that'll keep these separated in the middle. So these go on the selective control valve at these points. This goes on the T on one of these ends. I think probably this end or this end. We'll see in a minute. And then these are going to hold the support bracket on. The other end is held by this long one here. And we haven't figured out where these two go yet, but we will. And these will also come out of the selective control valve at some point, and they will hook up to our main hydraulic line. So we have our cables, and they're a little bit different. Although if you hold them up to each other, there's not much difference in the length, but there is some. We'll figure that out when we get there. All right, that kind of gives you an overview. These little C-clamps here, those are going to end up holding this in the bracket in the cab. And we can see that when we get to that point. And then we have 4 of these that we'll be installing, I believe, on here. We'll see that in a little bit. And then we can put those in our selective control valve. We're going to get this ready to go. Tomorrow we're going to do this. You have to drop the right rear tire off of your tractor to get access to everything, and we'll hopefully get that for you tomorrow. Okay, and we're going to stop here, and the next time you see us, we'll be pulling this thing apart and trying to put it together. Thanks.